Hello NFL fans, welcome to NFL Picks with Dave. Today we're going to predict how things will play out in Week 9 of the NFL season. Our first pick of the week takes us to Indianapolis, Indiana, where the Colts will take on the New York Jets. New York last week stunned the Cincinnati Bengals with a score of 34-31, while the Colts lost an overtime heartbreaker to the Tennessee Titans with a score of 34-31. This big is a tough one. Since Indianapolis is playing at home and the Jets are currently winless on the road, I'm picking the Colts with a score of 24-21. Now let's move on to Sunday's games. Our first Sunday game takes us to East Rutherford, New Jersey, where the Giants will host the Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas last week had the week off, while the Giants lost to the Kansas City Chiefs with a score of 20-17. This pick is pretty easy. I'm picking the Raiders with a score of 38-24. This pick is the lock of the week. Our next game is between the Falcons and the Saints. Atlanta last week lost to the Panthers with a score of 19-13, while the Saints pull off a major upset over the Buccaneers with a score of 36-27. Since the Saints scored more points, I'm picking them with a score of 20-17. Our next game takes us to Paul Brown Stadium, where the Bengals will battle with division rival the Browns. Cleveland last week lost to the Steelers with a score of 15-10, while the Bengals shockingly lost to the New York Jets. This pick is a tough one. Since Cincinnati is eager for a win, I'm picking them with a score of 27-24. My next picks are the Ravens over the Vikings, 31-14, the Patriots over the Panthers, 20-17, the Texans over the Dolphins, 27-10, the Cowboys over the Broncos, 37-20, and the Chargers over the Eagles, 28-21. Now let's move on to the key later games. Our first pick takes us to Kansas City, Missouri, where the Chiefs will take on the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay last week ended the Arizona Cardinals' undefeated ride by beating them with a score of 24-21. However, the Packers will be without Aaron Rodgers this Sunday due to him testing positive for COVID-19. Kansas City, on the other hand, narrowly defeated the New York Giants to keep their season alive. Since the Packers won't have the star quarterback this weekend, I'm picking the Kansas City Chiefs with a score of 17-14. Our next and final game takes us to Glendale, Arizona, where the Cardinals will battle with the 49ers. San Francisco last week defeated the Chicago Bears with a score of 33-22, while the Cardinals suffered their first loss of the season. Since Arizona had more time off, I'm picking them with a score of 28-17. Now let's move on to the last two primetime games. Our first primetime game takes us to Los Angeles, California, where the Rams will take on the Tennessee Titans. The Titans last week defeated the Colts, while the Rams ran over the Houston Texans with a score of 38-22. Since the Rams had a more convincing win, I'm picking them with a score of 34-17. And now, the last pick of the week. It's the Bears taking on the Steelers, live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Chicago last week lost to the 49ers, while the Steelers defeated the Browns. Since the Steelers are playing at home, I'm picking them with a score of 38-28. And that is for today's episode. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to get the latest videos. Also, be sure to like and follow this channel's Facebook page to get the latest news and updates about this channel. Thanks again for watching and hope to see you again soon.